Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video, and today we're going to react to a band I've never heard of before, a band called Netherbird. Yeah, okay, having not heard of them before, I had to do a little bit of research, and I came up with Netherbird are a Swedish melodic black metal band from Stockholm in Sweden. Obviously, with them being Swedish, you'd expect them to come from Sweden, and were formed in 2004. Their sound is heavily influenced by early 90s Scandinavian black metal, with elements of doom and gothic metal. Interesting little fact here, the drummer Adrian Erlandsson, better known for his roles in Paradise Lost, Cradle of Filth and At the Gates, actually became a fixed member of the band in 2007 and left in 2010. Other musicians that have taken part in performing on the albums of this band are Daniel Mojo Mailanen from Catatonia and Jonas Skinny Kanger of Death Stars. So, you know, interesting combination of musicians there. As a tribute to some of the bands that inspired their work, they released an EP entitled Covered in Darkness in 2009, and it included covers of tracks by Paradise Lost, the track As I Die, one of my favourite Paradise Lost tracks. There was also Sentenced, a track called Nepenthe from Sentenced early days. Again, one of my favourite tracks, fantastic track, and a good band, I really like Sentenced. And a track called Alison Hell by Annihilator. I'm not overly familiar with Annihilator. I have heard some of their stuff, I'm just not like really familiar with their stuff. But either way, so it gives sort of interesting insight as to what I might expect. I've got the lyrics up here, so hopefully I can see what's going on in the song. I mean, they said it's black metal, and as I've mentioned before, a lot of black metal seems to be almost one-dimensional, where they talk about either mountains, forests, or sometimes they go into the occult. But I've also found in a lot of recent reaction videos that a lot of melodic black metal tends to be a lot deeper than that. I'm not saying that they're all like that, I'm not stereotyping them all, but I've also said that I'm very specific about my likes when it comes to black metal. There are some black metal bands that I really like and some that I just cannot stand because I find them so generic and boring. So it'll be interesting to see where these line up. So I'll put a link to the original video in the description below. I haven't been saying that in a lot of my videos of late, but I really should do. Excuse me. So I think we'll get straight onto it and see where this one goes. So here we go. The track is, I haven't mentioned the name of the track, have I? The track is called Pillars of the Sky. So yeah, we've got Pillars of the Sky by Netherbird. Let's go. Looks like the bat signal.
When traversing the endless, in search for the hidden glorious heights, when the meaning concealed, the passage begins without light, and the search will estrange you, yearning to learn what's hidden, my Lord. How this yearning would change you. My first time that's followed by countless of more.
Well, before we really get into it, it's a very interesting start. That is not something you hear very often in black metal at all. A really sort of slow, acoustic, sort of melodic introduction to a song. Very, very interesting. It almost reminds me very slightly of the Wandering Moon. I mean, the vocal style is quite different, but it's very similar in its strange way. It's quite interesting so far. Let's see where this goes. Still, very, very interesting track. From what I can discern from the lyrics, I could be completely wrong because I'm only going by the first half so far. It seems to be about the search for knowledge. The search, search for meaning, possibly. It's very, very interesting. I love the way this song has started. I mean, it's... I don't know how far into the song we are. It looks about halfway. But with the first half being that acoustic style with the almost whispered vocals over the top, it's very nice and very interesting. And it's actually quite beautiful in its own strange way. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think that with the style of the vocalizations that he's using, because it sounds like whispered black metal vocals, but it's actually really nice. It's really good, and I like how halfway through the sort of acoustic session they started bringing in the electric guitars. They brought them in very subtly. They weren't overpowering of the rest of the music. It was a really exceptional way to do it. And then it seems like we're just breaking into like the proper black metal part of the track, and again they've done it in a very good way. They've picked a very specific point where it naturally seems that the song should like all of a sudden burst into this crescendo of sound. So yeah, I really like this. Let's carry on.
Right.
Well, that was exceptionally good. That was fantastic. I absolutely loved that. I mean, about halfway through that really black metal section, I started getting like goosebumps all up my arm, made all that hair on my arm stand on end, and I don't think that's ever happened to me whilst listening to black metal. It was a phenomenal piece of music. I absolutely loved that. And this was actually suggested to me by Zornheim. Zorn of Zornheim actually suggested this track to me. And I'm really glad he did, because that was phenomenal. As I was saying earlier, it seems that the song is about the quest for knowledge, you know, the want of like knowledge. I could be wrong. There's the lines here. Those that venture through the night, how they burn with purpose and resolve. The darkest of night, the brightest of bright, with glorious flames they ride. In a world lost to treason, shapes of the greater that dared and who died. Grand giants overlooking the vast never-ending, the pillars of the sky. At their feet lie the masses, those like us who craved to arise. As they fell before them, triumph or death for the pillars of the sky. Now, I'm not entirely sure exactly what pillars of the sky means, unless they're talking about the gods, possibly. But it's like those who venture through the night, how they burn with purpose and resolve. It's like going on a quest to find the knowledge of, you know, the gods or what have you. And then there's in a world lost to treason, shapes of the greater that dared and who died. So it's like that could be like referring to, you know, like the world lost to treason. You know, like everybody's out for themselves and they'll stab anybody in the back just, you know, to beat them to the punch. It's like, I want to find the truth about the gods. I want to find the wisdom of the gods. So I'm going to kill you so I get there first, possibly. And you know, further down there's those lines, those like us who crave to arise, as they fell all before them, triumph or death for the pillars of the sky. You know, it almost sounds like the Holy Crusades, you know, like seeking the Holy Grail, as it were, you know, fighting and killing each other for the chance to be the first one to find the knowledge and the power of the gods. You know, like there was, where was that line? Something about seeking, yeah, those like us who craved to arise, you know, they want to essentially ascend to a godlike status. I mean, I could very easily be completely wrong here, but that's what it seems to suggest to me. But all in all, I absolutely loved that song. It was phenomenal. It was beautiful. It was so well executed. It was fantastic, and I absolutely loved it, and I need to hear more. That was unreal. Absolutely loved it. And I'm very rarely that passionate about black metal, which is quite interesting. Anyway. Excuse me. I will stop gushing, and I'll leave that one as it is. As I've mentioned in a couple of my most recent videos, I am coming up to my 100th episode of Metalhead Reacts. So I'll be recording my 100th video, and I want a truly epic track to do for my 100th video. You know, something maybe as epic as this track was. Had I known, I probably would have saved this one for the 100th video. But anyway, I would like some suggestions for a really awesome epic track to do for my 100th video. So if anybody has any suggestions of a really, really good track, drop a comment below saying, I think your 100th video should be XYZ, and as it comes up to the day before I record my 100th video, I will collect all the suggestions and see what I come out with. Any that don't get used, will be reacted to at a later date, of course. They will be added to my list as per normal. So yeah, if you want to make any suggestions, then please, drop a comment below or message me on Instagram with any suggestions, and they will be added to my list. And excuse me. If you have suggested a track and it hasn't come up yet, rest assured it is coming. I've got quite a large list now. But rest assured they are all coming. But for the time being, we'll leave that one as it is. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.